The smoke-free housing trend in Canada is gaining momentum as more landlords realize the benefits of a no-smoking policy. Landlords have a right to live smoke-free and to provide a smoke-free environment for tenants. The Smoke-Free Ontario Act prohibits smoking in enclosed common areas of apartment buildings and condos and includes areas such as elevators, lobbies, hallways, laundry rooms, and parking garages. Before assuming possession of a rental unit, new tenants can be required to sign a tenancy agreement which acknowledges the unit as a smoke-free unit. In fact, landlords should begin by notifying prospective tenants of the no-smoking policy in the application form. On the other hand, existing or grandfathered tenants are exempted from new no-smoking policies that were not in effect when their tenancy began. When existing tenants leave, landlords can then transition that unit and implement a no-smoking policy. No-smoking policies can be specific or general. Landlords can decide where, if anywhere, smoking is permitted. This should be outlined in the tenancy agreement. If operating a multi-unit dwelling, landlords should also consider posting signs around the building reminding tenants of the no smoking policy and identifying any areas where smoking is permitted. A no smoking policy does not prohibit smokers from renting or buying accommodation. It does not mean people will be evicted simply for being smokers and does not force people to quit smoking. Tenants of smoke-free rental units are free to step outside for a cigarette anytime they choose, thus avoiding the potentially disabling effects of serious nicotine withdrawal. No smoking policies are not considered discriminatory under the Human Rights Code, as being a smoker is not currently a protected ground. This means landlords are permitted to include a clause in the tenancy agreement that prohibits smoking inside a rental unit. Even though smoking is considered an addiction and therefore a disability, the Ontario Human Rights Commission notes that, given the inherent risks associated with smoking, a housing provider may have little or no obligation to accommodate a tenant's need to smoke when to do so would amount to undue hardship, for example, by negatively affecting the health and safety of other tenants. Balancing the rights of smokers with those of non-smokers can be challenging. Landlords are responsible to accommodate a tenant's disability, but they are also required to investigate complaints about unwanted exposure to secondhand smoke. If a tenant is found to be smoking in a no-smoking unit, landlords need to document the incident in as much detail as possible and issue a warning letter to the tenant or immediately serve the landlord and tenant board notice for interference. Notice can be given to the tenant based on interference with reasonable enjoyment of another tenant, substantial interference with lawful right, interest, or privilege of the landlord, damage and safety issues such as tampering with smoke detectors to hide indoor smoking. If you are interested in learning more about implementing and maintaining a smoke-free policy, you will find a variety of useful information and resources at www.smokefreehousingon.ca and www.landlordselfhelp.com.